Hey guys, it's Tealus here. Welcome back for another look at an elite specialization that will be coming to Guild Wars 2 in the expansion pack Path of Fire. This time we will be looking at the elite specialization for the Mesmer, that is the Mirage. The little open beta that they've given us from the 18th through the 20th is coming to a close, so I'm trying to finish up the last of the elite specializations here, and Mirage is one of the last ones. Now, I have to admit, Mirage didn't really know much about it, and I started to look into it, and it was a little confusing at first. And as I started to become accustomed to it, I started to figure it out. Basically, you're getting kind of some thief gameplay into your Mesmer if you choose a Mirage. Now, I know a lot of people already played their Mesmers as a thief, and this is going to make it even more interesting. It's going to provide, I guess you could say, more interesting opportunities for your gameplay. So, with that, let's go ahead and get into the talent tree, and then we'll go into the utility skills as usual, and then lastly, we'll look at the weapon skills, which will take a little bit longer than usual because there's some extra stuff that I have to show, but otherwise, it's stuff that anybody who knows anybody who knows anything about thieves in the game will understand what I am referring to when we actually get to the Mirage build. So let's go ahead and look at Mirage. As you can see, I have axe proficiency, so I'm now able to wield an axe in the main hand, which is pretty cool. And then this first ability here explains basically what's going on. You gain Mirage Cloak. It's called Mirage Cloak. Gain Mirage Cloak instead of dodge rolling. Okay? Ambush skills become available for a short time whenever you gain Mirage Cloak, and you gain access to deception skills. So basically, your deception skills is your new utility skills, and ambush skills are very much like, your thief coming out of stealth skills. An ability that just does enhanced damage or has an enhanced attack when you come out of when you have Mirage Cloak on you. So let me go ahead and show you what Mirage Cloak looks like, because even in the developer interviews, they had a little difficulty explaining it. It's basically a dodge, but it doesn't look like you're dodging. So as you can see right there, I just kind of like have a little phase out, but it's a dodge. I don't actually move to the left or the right. I just kind of stay right where I am. I dodge using a double click of the directional keys. That's how I usually dodge. When I actually play Guild Wars 2, I use actually a combination of both double clicks on the mouse as well as the general forward, back, and strafing buttons. So it's kind of a weird aberration of all three of them together. So when I shift to the right, as you can see, double dodge to the right. You can see I just kind of like it's weird. It's like an illusion. And same thing left in other directions as well. So that's what it looks like. So let's go ahead and look into the talent tree. Go back into the talent tree. So here we are. We've seen the first ability. And it shows the tooltips for 7 other abilities. These are the tooltips for all the different ambushes. And we will go through them. The 7 seems a little large, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's also including the underwater weapons, which I will not be testing. I will show you, when we get to the weapon skills section, I will show you the ambush skills for both the new axe as well as the greatsword, the scepter, and the sword, the main hand sword. So you should be able to see all of the main, and the staff. So you'll be able to see all the main hand weapon actual attacks. So with that, let's look at the talent tree. I know this is like the third time I've said we're going to look at the talent tree. Looking in this first tree here, we have self-deception. Using a deception skill, we'll create a clone if you have exactly 2 illusions active. So if you have 2 illusions, if you use a deception skill, you get a third, basically clone out there to act as decoy. Second ability here is Renewing Oasis. Gain regeneration when Mirage Cloak is active. The duration of damaging conditions is reduced while you are regenerating. So basically bleeding, burning, confusion, torment, all those condition durations are reduced. And then you also get the regen for 4 seconds. So for 4 seconds, their duration will be reduced by 20%. The third ability here is Riddle of Sand. When entering combat, your first ambush attack applies confusion. This ability refreshes when you use a Shatter skill. So, one common way to gain your Mirage Cloak is, your Mirage Cloak is to dodge. But there are going to be other ways for you to gain Mirage Cloak. And so, basically, your first time into combat, whoops, looking at the wrong tree there, will give you the confusion. But then if you Shatter, then you'll also get it back again, whether you've already been into combat or not. So, that is how Riddle of the Sand will work. Your second ability here is Nomad's Endurance. Shatter skills give you Vigor, which grants condition damage. Considering that you're going to be wanting to use Mirage Cloak a lot, or have access to Mirage Cloak a lot because of the ambush abilities, I consider Vigor to be one of the more popular options for a Mirage. I believe there's another class, Elite Specialization, that also is going to be very high in using, wanting to use Vigor in their builds. It's something that I haven't seen too often in many builds, and I think we're going to start seeing it a lot more. So it's going to be more of an important stat, I think, in Path of Fire, more so than it's ever been in the base game and in Heart of Thorns. In the second tree here, we have Shards of Glass. Shattering illusions have a chance of becoming Mirage Mirrors. Trigger chance is 33%. A reformed Mirage Mirror, your shattered illusion reforms into a mirror. Touching the mirror shatters it, granting Mirage Cloak to you and weakening foes. And that Mirage Cloak lasts for a second. And then the number of targets is referring to the number of targets that will be inflicted with weakness. Second ability here is Mirage Mantle. Gain protection when Mirage Cloak ends. And the third ability here is Mirrored Axes. Reduce the recharge of axe skills. Axe skills generate an additional Phantom Axe. So reduced recharge is 20%. Phantasmal Seeking Axe. Release a Phantasmal Axe that seeks out a target after delay, inflicting conditions. Basically, that is your ambush ability, so that's what it's referring to, is your ambush ability is imaginary axes. So it will give you another Phantom Axe for that ability. Your third ability here is Speed of Sand. Gain super speed when you gain Mirage Cloak. That's pretty awesome. So if you're able to consistently keep up your Mirage Cloak, you're going to consistently keep up super speed, which is pretty cool. In the third tree here, we have Infinite Horizon. When you gain Mirage Cloak, the trait is also applied to all of your illusions. So, all of them will have that evasiveness. And if you use Ambush, your Ambush ability, that means when they use their basic ability, they also will all use their Ambush ability. So that's pretty cool. At least, I gotta admit, that I have not seen in action, but that is the way the wording plays out to me, and that's the way I see it. So I will have to do some more testing to see if that is actually correct, but that is from what I've seen. Elusive Mind, second ability, second in the third tree here, is dodging breaks stuns and removes conditions, and dodging is, you know, your new kind of dodge that you have here. And then the third is Dune Cloak. Use sand shards when you gain Mirage Cloak. Conditions applied to bleeding foes have increased duration. The duration is increased by 20%. Sand shards strike nearby foes, inflicting bleeding right there. So basically, every time you gain Mirage Cloak, you'll be using in a 180 radius, inflicting bleeding on everyone else around you with 2 stacks. 180 radius isn't the greatest, but it's not that bad. So, pretty much in combat, really close to melee combat for the Mirage hero, right? Elite Specialization here. So with that, let's go ahead and look at the utility skills, which are Deception skills. I think the only other class with Deception skills is a Thief, so this is the first time spreading into a different class. So the first one here we have is False Oasis. Create a Mirage at your current location and heal over time. When the Mirage expires, it spawns a Mirage Mirror. So as you can see, there's Vigor added into this, and you get a Mirage Mirror. Basically, a lot of using the Mirage is getting Mirage Mirrors which will give you Mirage Cloak, and then granting more vigor to yourself so that you can dodge and get more Mirage Cloak. It's all about getting into Mirage Cloak. So we'll go ahead and use this right here so you can see. There's this wonderful little Mirage thing here, and then it explodes right there on it. I will use it again so you guys can see the Mirage Mirror. I was kind of on top of it so you couldn't really see the Mirage Mirror, but I'll use it again so that you guys can actually see the Mirage Mirror. While that comes off cooldown, let's go ahead and look at the next one. This one's called Sand Through Glass. Evade backward and leave behind a Mirage Mirror. So this is basically just a straight evade. I believe I have enough room here to show it to you guys. So we'll do it right here. Step back, and then that's the Mirage Mirror right there. It's going to look like a big just purple square like that. And going back to the heal skill, you can see it right here. You'll see the Mirage Mirror pop up right there. And if I run into it, I gain the Mirage Cloak right there just by running into it. So that's how you gain Mirage Cloak. In the second ability here, we have Illusionary Ambush. You and all of your illusions shadow step to a random point around your target and gain Mirage Cloak. Illusion's actions are interrupted when they change focus to the targeted foe. So just so you understand what this basically means, this means that you can refocus your illusions on a different target, which is pretty big. One thing that's always bothered me with Mesmer is, like, you know, you're trying to move targets, and then all of a sudden, you know, you lose all of your illusions. For the testing of this, I'm going to go ahead and equip the actual the scepter, just because it's easier for me to build cloaks off of it. There are a lot of people out here right now, so it's going to be hard to find a place in which we can have some peace and quiet. But we will go ahead and try our best. So we're going to go ahead and use this here. And we're just going to use this ability on this one here so we can see what it looks like. And then we'll go ahead and use it right here with this. We all appear in different places. And as you can see, all of them used the ambush because they all had Mirage Cloak. Going back to that ability. If I can find it right here. When you gain Mirage Cloak, the trait is also applied to all your illusions. Now, they already gained Mirage Cloak, so they were able to do, use the ambush ability right there. And just so you don't know what the ambush ability looks like for a scepter, and I'll show it again later, just so you have an idea, I'm going to evade backward and use it. As you can see right there, it's just a launch. So when I build up, I'm going to build up illusions again. When you see them firing rapidly, that's the ambush ability that they're using. So let's go ahead and have all three pop up again. And then I will go ahead and use it again. Here we go. And as you can see, they all use their ambush ability right there. So another way you can gain that, once again, is going through this ability, which is when you gain Mirage Cloak, the trait is also applied to all of your illusions. Now, in this ability right here, it's already given to them. But just to give you an idea, if I were to build it up right here and then gain Mirage Cloak right there, all I did was backward step and they all use the ambush ability right there. So I am correct in the wording that I was seeing there, in that basically gives it to everyone, and then all of a sudden you have ambush from all of your illusions at once, which is pretty cool. This is really important, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to put my illusions on this one, just two of them. I'm going to switch targets to this heavy golem here, and then I'm going to use illusionary ambush, and all of them are going to switch to this target, okay? Now, this target's already died. This is where we started. But this illusion is still here attacking this target. So I was able to successfully switch the target for all of my illusions, which, to my knowledge, my Mesmer playtime is kind of in the middle compared to my other classes, is something that Mesmers have never had before. Every time they killed a target, they'd have to reapply their illusions to the next target. That's not going to be the case anymore. You're going to be able to switch from one target to the next target to the next target using this ability. I consider Illusionary Ambush to be probably my favorite utility skill that has been added in the expansion out of all the classes. I'm really impressed with it. So, The second one here is, or sorry, this is the third one here. It's called Mirage Advance. You shadow step and unleash an attack that blinds your target and nearby foes. You may reactivate the skill to return to your original position and restore some endurance. So before this starts, I'm going to go up and I'm going to add the other thing to the bar just in case I can't get out of combat. And we'll go ahead and use it right now. Jump to the target, and then I can jump straight back. So that's pretty cool. I can dash forward. And as you can see, both of us unleashed our barrages. Do it again. All of us unleashed our barrages. It's really cool. Personally, I'm looking forward to using that trait and then having a lot of vigor for basically some dodge rolling to create a lot of Mirage mirrors and just kind of have barrages all over the place. It's going to be really cool. So I'm excited for it. The last one here is called Crystal Sands. Draw in shards of crystal sand. Draw in shards of crystal sand that confuse foes they pass through on their way to your targeted location. The shards form a mirage mirror upon reaching their destination. So we'll go ahead and use it here. This is a really big AoE. We'll use it all the way out here. It'll hit all three of them. They move in. There's the mirage mirror. I can crack it right here, and then I'll be able to use my ambush skill right there. I'm glad I'm using the scepter because the scepter's a really easy ambush skill to recognize what's going on. That an ambush skill is happening, basically, is what I meant. So the last one here is going to be your elite utility skill, your elite deception. It's called Jaunt, and basically, you shadow step to a target location and confuse nearby foes. You get 3 stacks of confusion. You remove a condition from yourself. It has a count recharge of 20 seconds, and you have 3 counts on it. Don't get too excited, though, because the range is only 400 yards, so it's not that far. But it is going to confuse a lot of people. As you can see here, I can jump from here to here, here to here, and here to here. And yes, I am clicking all over the place. That's just the way I do things when I am testing things out here. And not really worrying about maximizing efficiency. So, I'm not gonna lie, as I'm sitting here like showing you these abilities and going through it again for the th time, I'm becoming more and more excited about my Mesmer, so this is actually really cool. So, with that goes through all of the utility skills, which means all we have to do is go through the ambushes once again, and then I will go through the axe skills. So let's go through the ambushes that are available to the classes first off. So the first one is going to be Ether Ambush. Ambush, blink back a short distance and launch a barrage of chaos orbs at your foe, inflicting either confusion or torment each hit. Condition duration halved for the clones. So basically damage, confusion, torment, and you get a little shadow step distance of 200, and it's got a 1200 yard range. So that's an increased range from what it is normally. So let's try and let's see. I'm gonna go back as far as I can here. Let's see if I can. Oh, I actually hit him there. Did I? Yes, I actually did hit him there. Come on. Get me out of range. There we go. Okay, out of range. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to just dodge roll to the side. And actually, oh, it obstructed because I was so far away. We're just gonna show you it from here. Dodge roll, and then there you go. You see the ambush. So you've seen it several times, but now you saw it once again. I shouldn't have used the heavy golem because now I have to recharge. But I do have the staff on the other line so that we can use the staff. However, I can't show you what the actual I cannot show you what the actual text is for it. So we're gonna run away, get out of combat, and then I'm gonna show you what the staff's ambush skill is. Geez, I had to go pretty far away. So, ambush, release a vortex of chaos energy that inflicts conditions on foes and grants boons to allies. Damage, confusion, 2 stacks, torment, 2 stacks, fury, and might. So that is what is available to you with this. So we'll go ahead and use it. I'd like to use it on the small dummies so that we can get out of combat quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and go backwards, and then there you go. It kind of has a wind up and then it launches. So we're gonna use it again so you can see it a little bit better. I'm gonna use it from the side so you can. Whoops. It moved my character to the opposite direction. That was my bad. So we'll wait for it to come up again. Mirage Mirror, the only complaint that I have with Mirage Cloak is that it's got a very short duration. I don't know if that's the way they want to keep it. I feel like it should be increased, and not increased a ton. We're talking like, you know, quarters of seconds that it should be increased, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how balance changes fold out over the course of the next, you know, month. So let's go ahead and use it right here, backwards, and then there's the wind up, and then launching the orb. Once again, going to use it, and then there's the orb. It's a big purple orb. So that is the staff ambush skill. And I do believe it has a 1200 yard range, just like the rest of the staff skills. So with that, let's go ahead and move to, let me flip back to the other side. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the great sword. Well, we'll put the great sword here. And we'll see the ambush here, which is shoot a beam at your targeted foe and secondary beams at foes near your target. And it actually has a pretty good radius in terms of the cone in which we're talking about of hitting it, because it's going to hit that medium goal in the center there. So let's go ahead and back up and then fire it off. And then you can see I have like it's like a super laser compared to the normal laser that you normally have. So that's pretty cool. Once again, oh, I dodged back right when just about every golem died. So we'll use it again. There you go, right there. And there we go once again. So you get to see it twice. So I'm hoping that those characters will take care of killing the rest of those. Hopefully they will. We will switch to the other side so that we can get out of combat, and then I can show you the sword. Apologies about that. We had a little bit of a cutout. So here we are back, and we're about to look at the sword. So let's go ahead and take a look down here. I have the sword already on my bar. And the ability here is Mirage Thrust. It's an ambush ability. Lunge at your foe and strike them with your sword, briefly dazing them. Leave behind a clone at your original location. So I'd like to use it on this this lesser dude right here, hopefully. We can, there we go. So I'm going to back up a little bit and then use it there. It's just a lunge, and then my clone comes in as well and starts attacking. Pretty simple. So with that, we're left with the final ability. We've gone through greatsword, staff, sword, and scepter. The last is going to be the axe, the brand new weapon coming in Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire for the Mesmer is the axe. It comes with the elite specialization. First, we'll show the ambush skill, and then we'll go through all of the other abilities that is available to it. So the first is imaginary axes. Release phantasmal axes that seek out the nearest target after a short delay. So, range 200 is pretty small, so we're going to go ahead and use it. And then we'll use it, and as you can see there, they kind of shoot out a little bit, and then they go immediately at the target. Let's kind of let's detarget this and then fire it off right here. As you can see right there, they go out a little bit and then they shoot out towards the target. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. It's one of the cooler abilities in my opinion. I do believe those actually pierce through, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna pass. We're gonna, instead of killing those, we're gonna run all the way and get out of combat, and then we're gonna look at the basically the main weapon chain for the Mesmer, and then we're gonna look at the last few abilities. So the main weapon chain first is lacerating chop. Inflict bleeding on your target, damage and bleeding, 3 targets. Ethereal chop, inflict torment on your target, damage and torment. And then mirror strikes, inflict bleeding and torment on your target with damage, bleeding, and torment on it. So it's pretty simple, straightforward. So we'll go ahead and use it right here. And nice visuals. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. The second ability here is Lingering Thoughts. You spin forward and strike multiple times, inflicting conditions and leaving a mirage at your starting position. If an enemy is near the mirage when it expires, a clone is summoned. So we're going to go ahead and use this and move forward. So there's the mirage. And it stayed there for a little bit. That was really difficult to see, so I'm going to try and show you again. The mirage is like the mirage here. So when it says Mirage, so we're not confusing people, it's this little, just, it's like a mirage, a desert mirage. You know, you see something, you're like, is that really real? Is that really an oasis? That's basically what it is here. So let's go ahead and use it, and I'm going to show you from behind what it looks like. As you can see right here, it was like a bluish, orangish, purplish glow, and then it materialized into a clone. Now that time it didn't, because this light golem hadn't respawned. So we'll do it again, and you can see right here, there the light golem respawned, so the clone activated. The third ability here is Axes of Symmetry. You and all your axe clones shadow step to a random location around your target and strike, applying confusion. This attack breaks enemy targeting, and your illusions change focus to the targeted foe. So this is another way for you to change focus for your clones, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. So you can do this, create 2 clones, and then jump to here and move your clones to a new target. So I hope I showed that to you correctly. Basically, I built the clones up twice on this target right here using 2 stacks of Lingering Thought, and then I immediately switched over to the third target for basically the damage. So we'll use it again, and then we'll switch over here. Whoops, I actually didn't target the other one in time, but they all teleported to the new target, which is pretty cool. So we'll try it once again. Mirage, flipping back through, switching to the target, and everyone follows me. And then if I want, I can use Deception and have them all go to the opposite one. So you can see where the power of the Mirage comes from. It's really cool, and I'm really impressed with it. There's going to be a lot of confusion out there on the battlefield. If you had trouble fighting Mesmer before, you're going to have an even more difficult time this time. And if you had difficulty playing as Mesmer before, kind of just like the Weaver, your life is even more miserable. In my opinion, there is no doubt that the 2 most difficult classes to play in the game are the Weaver, Elementalist, etc., and then the Mirage and Mesmer. So I'm really impressed with what they did with this class. Looks like we're going to have a lot of fun with this, and be able to do a lot of, just a lot of confusion abilities with what you can do here. Now, as you can see, we all came here and we all had mirror image, and so we all used our ambush axe ability at the same time, which was pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, I pulled that off just a second too late. We killed the mob before I had a chance, but that is basically the basics. That is the basics of the Mirage coming in Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire. I'm excited for it, a lot more excited than I was when I first saw it. There's going to be some great opportunities out there. I have a feeling this is going to be a very popular option for roamers. They're going to shred people with this, and rightfully so. It's really built for that kind of thing. So I'm not sure how this will work with staff and greatsword. That's what I've always used in the past with my Mesmer. I know I'm the boring, like, backline Mesmer, but there could be some really cool applications available to you from that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will enjoy the Mesmer when it comes out, and it should be a lot of fun. So that's everything for the Mirage, the elite specialization for the Mesmer. This is Tearless, and I'll see you guys later. Tearless out.